What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to talk about every single fight that I want to see and that I feel like we need to see in 2025. You can call this my UFC wish list for 2025, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be going through every single weight class, talking about the biggest fights that I want to see, that I think are possible as well. It's not necessarily the fights that I think are next for all of these guys, but they're definitely possible in 2025, and I feel like we all can agree that these would be great matchups or that they're super important to the division, and we need to see them, okay? I feel like I've made that clear now. Let's get into this, dude. Flyweight division, first one I want to talk about. This is my top priority at Flyweight. Make Manel Kape versus Kai Kara-France fucking immediately, dude. Put this on the Sydney pay-per-view, because that's looking worse and worse every day. Dude, they just told me Jack Della Maddalena is not even going to be on it. So the featured fight is going to be like Justin Tafa. Please don't do this to me, man. Please, bro. Put together Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape. There's beef there. It's an exciting matchup. The winner of this can get a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja. I think this is the best and biggest fight you can make at Flyweight. Realistically, like today, if you walked in the war room with Dana White and Hunter Campbell, this is the best fight you can make at Flyweight. We need this, bro. We need this. Okay, and they need to be at a press conference. That's why I'm kind of hoping that it's on 312 or a fight night main event, because then we will get some sort of beef and conversation between these two, because this is a huge fight, dude. We need this matchup. Please make Manel Kape versus Kai Kara-France, all right, dude? Next fight that I want to see at Flyweight that I feel is really important to see just from a personal perspective. Great matchup in terms of stylistically. Winner of this is moving on to some big fights, and they're going to be a future title challenger. We're going to do Bedtime MMA versus Rush Holloway, a.k.a. Steve Erceg versus Joshua Van. Dude, the boxing exchanges in this matchup. Let me tell you about this matchup, kid. Let me tell you about Joshua Van's boxing. This is a sick fight. I feel like this could go on the 312 card as well. I know we won't get both. We can't possibly get two big-name flyweight fights on the 312 pay-per-view where we're going to be getting complete unranked jabronis opening up the main card. But please make Steve Erceg versus Joshua Van Apex co-main event. Put it on a fight night in front of a crowd as like the opener of the card. This is the type of fight that gets added to a card and you go, bro, I'm actually really excited for this fight, not the co-main event or the main event. This is the type of matchmaking I want to see in 2025. Exciting fight. Makes sense ranking-wise. The winner of this is going to be on to fighting the big names in the division at that 6 and 5 spot. I feel like this makes a lot of sense. And it would be a really exciting fight, like I said. So please make this matchup. Last one I want to talk about at Flyweight. This is a title fight that I believe is possible in 2025 if the UFC gets everything together. And honestly, I know that it's like an unpopular opinion, but I think this is one of the hardest matchups for Pantoja that can realistically happen. Listen, dude, before you fucking get mad, I know that this is like a Uber Eats versus fucking Deliveroo matchup, but seriously, bro, who else is fighting Pantoja? Mighty Mouse is not coming back, okay? He's a full-time YouTuber now, respects to the man. He's already beat Royval, Moreno, Tatsuro Taira just lost badly to Brandon Royval as well. You know, it's going to be Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape, and the winner of that's going to get a title shot. And then what? Then he's really cleared out the fucking division, right? Then we're looking at Steve Erceg rematch. Then we're looking at, you know, bringing people down from Bantamweight. So re-sign Muhammad Mokaev. I do think that he's quite boring, but I also think that there's enough intrigue with the fact that he's undefeated to where he is probably the best bet. Like, he's probably the best chance to scramble with Pantoja, defend the takedowns, land his fake gay O'Malley combinations that don't work. Like Mokaev is the only guy that we don't actually know what would happen if he fought Pantoja. You can pretty much assume correctly every single other name in the division. It's got to be Tatsuro Taira or Muhammad Mokaev that beats Pantoja, in my opinion. I don't think anyone else is going to do it. So maybe a controversial opinion here. I would like to see Pantoja versus Mokaev. That's what I want to see, dude. I don't know why they cut him, but it was pretty funny. I will give Dana that. All right, let's move on to the Bantamweight division, and this is one where, you know, the main fight that I wanted was Merab versus Umar. That got made. Now I'm just going to talk about the other fighters in the division and how I want to see them get match made, all right? First priority, borderline my championship fight in the division. I don't give a fuck about Merab versus Umar anymore, dude. The fight that I really care about the most at Bantamweight, make Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan 2, 5 rounds in Miami on that pay-per-view. Make it right now. Dude, we need this fucking fight. This is the type of fight that I'm talking about in this video. This isn't oh, this would be cool. No, dude. This is like I'm writing to Santa, bro. I need a PS5. I need Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan 2. All right, dude? And I've been nice all year. I'm not on the naughty list. I deserve this. You need to make Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan 2. 5 rounds. 5 rounds. Co-main event to a badass pay-per-view or headliner fight night. Probably not going to be that one. Probably going to be on pay-per-view. Please make this 5 rounds. I want to see this so badly, dude. Petr Yan, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, dude. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm on my hands and knees right now, bro. All right, pause. Next fight I really want to see in the Bantamweight division. Another fight that I think would be a great fight night headliner. This one specifically would be amazing. Headlining a fight night. Really don't care if it's in the Apex or if it's in front of a crowd. This is the type of fight that I don't really care about the crowd. I just want to see the actual matchup. Corey Sandhagen versus Davison Figueiredo. Hipster's delight. This is the type of fight that gets posted on Instagram.
Bro, this is seriously the highest level matchmaking in UFC history.
But it is actually a badass fight. I'm not going to hate on this. I really want to see this. I think this makes perfect sense as the next fight for both of these two. They're both right around the top 5. The winner of this can fight like Sean O'Malley if he loses to Petr Yan. They can fight Merab if he loses to Umar. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of options with the winner of this. And the loser of this can go down and fight like, I don't even know, like Peyton Talbot on the come up or some shit like that. You know, you got a lot of options. And I think stylistically, just this fight in itself is badass. 2 pretty big names at Bantamweight that people love to watch. People will get hyped for this. You can definitely headline a card with this. Yeah, make this fight ASAP, Dana, all right? Last one I want to talk about at Bantamweight, kind of out of left field. Like, it's kind of a curveball. But I think it's a pretty sick matchup. And I was looking at the rankings and I was kind of thinking, all right, well, what do you do with Jose Aldo? Like, the classic matchups are Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz, or Jose Aldo versus Henry Cejudo. Like, they're fine. I wouldn't be mad at them. They'd be good. I'm not dying to see them. Same with Cruz versus Cejudo. I don't know why people are so insistent on seeing this fight that was not that good. Like, I would rather see Cejudo fight somebody younger that I think he could still manage to beat. But regardless, as for Jose Aldo, I don't want to match him up with old heads. I don't want to match him up with Dominic Cruz and fucking, you know, who else, dude? You know what, man? I want to see Jose Aldo versus Peyton Talbot. If Peyton Talbot beats Raoni Barcelos and maybe KOs one more person, let's do fucking Jose Aldo versus Peyton Talbot before he retires, bro. I think this is the type of sick fight that we can look back on in like 3 or 4 years and be like, damn, it's cool that we got to see Aldo versus Talbot before Talbot was in his prime and after Jose Aldo was in his prime. You know, like those fantasy matchups that you kind of want to see, like Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva. It would be cool if Peyton Talbot smokes fucking Raoni Barcelos and we know he's going to be up on the way up, that we get to see him fight Jose Aldo. I think this would be a pretty competitive matchup. I think it'd be pretty exciting. I'd probably lean towards Peyton Talbot, but Jose Aldo is really still fucking good. So I think this is an exciting matchup. Makes sense if Jose Aldo doesn't fight again until, you know, mid next year. Put this in Brazil as like a featured fight. This would be sick, dude. This would be way more intriguing than Mario Batista and Jonathan Martinez. If you're going to make this guy come back and not fight top names and you're going to feed him to young prospects, at least make him fight someone fucking exciting. You know what I mean? Boom. There you go. So maybe a out of left field pick. I want to see Jose Aldo versus Peyton Talbot at some point in 2025. I think that'd be fucking sick, dude. But let's move on to the featherweight division. And this is a hard one to matchmake because, again, I hate to say I told you so, but Topuria just said he's staying at featherweight. I can't believe the fucking people that come to my comments and act like they're a fucking genius because they read actually Topuria's leaving 145, bro. He weighs 200 pounds. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, he doesn't, all right? Topuria, you're not getting McGregor. You're not getting Logan Paul in India, whatever the fuck that is, okay, dude? I think that the most intriguing matchup in terms of record and resume and who has the best chance of beating Topuria. I know this is not agreeable of an opinion, but I seriously, like, hear me out. I think if anybody at featherweight is going to beat, what's this guy's name? Ilia Topuria, it's going to be Movsar Evloev. I don't think Diego Lopez beats Topuria. I think that'd be a cool matchup. I'd be down to see that for sure. That's not a fight I don't want to see. but I just feel like Topuria matches up really well with Lopez, and he doesn't match up as well with fucking Movsar Evloev. Have you rewatched Bryce Mitchell versus Topuria? Why was Bryce Mitchell actually doing kind of okay in that fight? You know what I'm saying, dude? I feel like Movsar Evloev has the best chance to beat Topuria. I don't think he would be the best champion. Like I've said before, I think people would genuinely stop watching the sport if Movsar Evloev becomes champion, and that would be kind of funny, but I would understand that. But it's just about who is the best in the division, what is the hardest fight for the champion. That's what I always want to see. I want to see who can beat the champion. So for me, I don't care about seeing Volk in the rematch. I don't care about seeing fucking who else, dude? Like even Ilya versus Islam. I don't really want to see that. I want to see the champions just defend their belts in their division. So I think the biggest fight for me in terms of who can beat Ilya is Movsar Evloev, especially if he remains undefeated. I think Evloev versus Topuria, undefeated versus undefeated. That is an intriguing fight. Even if it's not a huge name value fight, I think it's really important that we see that. So let's see. I hope that we see Topuria versus Evloev. Okay. I would love a dream world where we get to see Evloev versus Topuria and Topuria versus Lopez as well. And maybe they cancel each other out, but who knows? Okay. As for Diego Lopez, I don't want to see him fight Volk, bro. Like, I'm just going to say that right now. I don't want to see anyone fight Volk. Just leave him alone, bro. Leave my man alone, bro. Why are you guys trying to fight Volk, dude? I don't want to see Lopez fight this fucking guy. I don't want to see Topuria fight him again. I don't even want to take the risk of Evloev, like, accidentally grazing his chin with a jab and hurting him. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it, dude. I don't want to see that. I think he could beat Evloev, but I don't want to see it, dude. You know what I want to see for Diego Lopez? I think Diego Lopez would bring the dog out of Arnold Allen. Now, I like Arnold Allen. I know you guys do too. Hot take, Arnold Allen's kind of boring most of the time. I think he had an entertaining fight with Movsar Evloev. Had a pretty entertaining fight with Max Holloway. Even then, that was one of the most boring Max Holloway fights in recent memory. And I think Arnold Allen in general is not very much of a risk taker. He's pretty good boxing, good scrambling. He's big for the division. I don't think he's super exciting the way that Diego Lopez is, but the way that Lopez fights, I think he would bring it out of Arnold Allen and we'd get a sick fight. This would be a fucking awesome main event for that card in Mexico that they're doing in March. I think that'd be sweet. Maybe later in the year, if Lopez loses to Evloev or loses to Topuria and then he needs a bounce back fight, let's fucking do Lopez versus Arnold Allen, bro. These guys would be so like wholesome and bros before the fight as well. It'd be such a sick matchup. I'd love to see 5 rounds of Lopez and Arnold Allen just swinging in the center. Pause, I think. I don't know. But that would be a sick fight. I hope that we get to see this in 2025. Haven't really thought about it until I started making this video. So I think that'd be a cool fight, dude. I think Lopez versus Arnie would be a sick, dude. Last one I want to talk about in the featherweight division. This isn't necessarily next for both of these guys. This is the type of fight I'm talking about where maybe one of these guys wins a couple, one of these guys loses one more, or one of these guys wins one, a big fight, and then we get to see this fight later in the year. Honestly, this is just pure matchmaking, pure vibes, what I'd like to see in 2025. I think Yair Rodriguez versus Doo Ho Choi would be badass, dude. I think this would be a sick fight because we already got Yair versus TKZ, who's Doo Ho Choi's like head coach and like they're bros. I think Doo Ho Choi hits like a fucking truck. He's got pretty decent grappling, but he also is a little bit like rickety. Like he is weirdly chinny. Like every time I've watched Doo Ho Choi and he gets rocked with something bad, he does the TKZ animation where he's like, it's like a gust of wind just hit him and he's like trying not to fall over. And I think Yair Rodriguez is borderline underrated now in the featherweight division. I was rewatching some of this guy's fights, man. Why was this guy piecing up Volk in round 3, dude? Why was this guy the first one to drop Brian Ortega? You know what I'm saying, dude? I think Yair versus TKZ would be a very entertaining addition to a pay-per-view. Like, dude, imagine this gets put on, like, International Fight Week. Like, International Fight Week, we get Dricus versus Hamzat, we get Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison, we get some other sick matchups like Max versus Charles, right? And then Doo Ho Choi, Yair Rodriguez, bro. That'd be a sick fucking card. So maybe I'm just looking too far into the future. I think Yair Rodriguez, maybe he loses one more or he just waits out the division a little bit. Doo Ho Choi, I believe he's going to get a top 15 opponent in his next fight. Not unlikely that we get Doo Ho Choi ranked number like 14 or some shit versus Yair Rodriguez ranked like 7 or 8. I think this would be a fucking sweet fight. So maybe I'm just making up shit, but Yair versus Doo Ho Choi in 2025 would be lit, dude. All right. Let's move on to the lightweight division. I just said it. This is my top priority at lightweight. I don't really care what Islam does. I like Islam, but he's like running out of people to fight. So I don't really have a contender in mind that I'm like, bro, I really want to see Islam fight this guy. Like, he's fighting Armin. That's the fight. The next guy down that he hasn't fought yet is fucking Justin Gaethje. So it's like, I'm not tripping over what Islam's next fight is unless he moves up and Bilal somehow slips on a banana peel and loses to Shavkat. I'm not tripping about Islam's next fight, okay, dude? What I am tripping on, though, is Charles versus Max Holloway. Bro, I don't know how many times I have to make this fight. Please, UFC, I'm literally, like, bro, I need this fight. Headline a pay-per-view with this. Put it as the co-main event to Jones Aspinall. Do whatever you want with this. BMF title fight. Number one contendership for Islam Makhachev's lightweight title. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. It is what it is, brother. Hey, listen, it was what it was. It is what it is, brother. Versus, I big do Bronx. I big champion. The champion is the name of Charles Oliveira, brother. That's what we need, bro. Everyone fucking loves these guys. I do think this is a very competitive matchup as well. I had some people being like, bro, you're crazy thinking Max Holloway beats Charles Oliveira. I really don't see that at all. He completely schooled Justin Gaethje. I think his chin's going to be better at 155, even if that's fucking possible. Coming off a KO, I think without the weight cut, his chin is borderline uncrackable at 155. Maybe Charles could do it, but I really don't think in round 3, 4, and 5, Charles Oliveira is going to be as powerful or as accurate as he was in round 1 and 2. Based on the way that he fights, I don't think he is as good in 3, 4, and 5 as he is in 1 and 2. That's the most dangerous time for Charles Oliveira. But Max Holloway, I think his footwork, his movement has improved a little bit. It's a really competitive fight still. It's still a really tough fight to predict. I could definitely see Charles winning it, but I think this is the type of fight that we need in the lightweight division, considering the fact that Islam is like running out of challenges and it's not as exciting now. Like, there's not as much hype as there was when it was Charles versus Islam, or, you know, Islam versus Poirier, Islam versus Volk. Right now, it's kind of like Islam versus whoever the fuck. This is like the biggest fight you can make at 155. So I think Charles versus Max is very needed. I hope we see that. Okay. Next fight that I really, really, really am like invested in at 155, not in terms of the rankings, but more just in the build up to it, the hype, the fan bases. Nobody talks about it. Know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking teabag fucking Moicano. Know what I mean? Paddy Pimblett, Renato Moicano, they've sold me on this. They've scammed me into believing in these two, even though they're, you know, top 10 at best type fighters. I'm excited for this, man. I want to see this. I would love to see a tough season as suggested by Moicano. Regardless of where this is, I would love it to be a main event. But even if it's 3 rounds and it's on a huge pay-per-view, I'm there. I'm invested in this. This is my main event of whatever card it's on. The trash talk is going to be exciting. I think that the build-up will be super fun. I also think this is an interesting matchup. Like, I think Paddy Pimblett is going to be pretty underrated going forward in his career, like he always is. Like, people swore up and down Bobby Green was going to fucking destroy him. And Paddy Pimblett literally smokes him, ends his career, basically. So, I think Paddy Pimblett is still underrated at lightweight. Not as much as he was going into the Bobby Queen Green fight, whatever the fuck his name is. I still think he'll get underrated. I still think he'll be like a huge underdog against Moicano. And I honestly think he's better than fucking Benoit Scam Denise and better than fucking Jalen Turner in terms of his ability to scam his way into a win. Like, I think Paddy Pimblett is able to, if it's a close competitive fight, which I believe it will be, via the striking, and even his grappling is very good as well. If it goes to a close decision, who do you think the judges are going to give it to, bro? Who do you think the judges are giving the decision to? 35-year-old Moicano or fucking Paddy Pimblett, who they love? You tell me, dude. I think this is a very exciting matchup. Competitive, good build-up, big fan bases, a lot of beef involved. Make this fight at 155 after Moicano beats Beneil Dariush. Maybe, I don't know though. And Paddy Pimblett beats Gamrot, or maybe loses. I don't know. You know, this is a fight that you can make regardless of what happens in the next fight. We need it in 2025, okay? Speaking of Benoit Saint-Denis, I bet you didn't think he was going to show up in this video. I bet you thought that I was going to take some digs at Benoit. I wasn't going to matchmake him. No, dude. I actually do want to see Benoit Saint-Denis come back in 2025, okay? I would love to see Benoit Saint-Denis go to the GFL. No, I'm just kidding, dude. This is the best fight you can make for Benoit. Chandler versus BSD. This is a fucking badass fight. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. The winner of this gets fed to the BMF champion. Like, here's what I think's going to happen at lightweight, dude. Somewhat like either Charles or Max is going to be BMF champion and challenge Islam for the belt and lose to him. Make this fight in the meantime, Chandler versus BSD. The winner of this gets fed to the loser of Islam versus Charles or Max. You know what I'm saying, dude? Either Charles gets to beat up Chandler for a third time, or he gets to beat up Benoit, scam Denise. Max gets to beat up Chandler. He gets to beat up BSD. It's a fucking beautiful life, dude. It's a beautiful cycle of life in the lightweight division. And as for this matchup, I genuinely don't know who I'd pick. I don't know who I would pick. I'd probably lean Michael Chandler, but I could see Michael Chandler finding a way to lose this fight for himself. So you tell me who you think wins this, but I think this is an exciting matchup in terms of the way that these guys maraud towards each other. I think that they're in similar positions in the lightweight division where they have a decently big name, but I don't think they beat anyone else that has a big name. So match them up with each other. The winner gets to fight another big name and lose to them. The loser, you genuinely are going to the GFL. I'm sorry, brother. I have nothing else to say for the loser of this, but the winner of this, you get something out of this, dude. You get something out of this. Think about the fans, dude. Think about the fan base you could build by losing to Max Holloway. Okay, dude? Last fight at lightweight that I want to talk about. Yes, I have 4 here for lightweight and for welterweight and for middleweight. Okay? Last fight I want to see in the lightweight division. I've been yapping about this for going on years now, and I'm waiting for Dana White to hear me out. I'm going to keep saying it. Jalen Turner, Joel Alvarez. 100% finish rate for both of these two. They're right next to each other in the rankings. There is not more perfect of a matchup you could really make in the lightweight division. There is nothing you can say to say, oh, well, actually, it should be a Joel Alvarez versus Benoit Saint. Shut the fuck up. No one can say that. We all agree. We all know this. We need this. Jalen Turner, Joel Alvarez, 100% finish rate. Make the fight right now, Dana White. Book it right now, okay? Moving on to the welterweight division, and this is my favorite division. This is where I'm going to be going yap overdrive. First things first, the top of the division. I know this is Bilal Muhammad's world, and the rest of these welterweights are just living in it. I'm not even going to disrespect my GOAT, Bilal, remember the name Muhammad, by matching him up with someone, even hinting they could beat him, okay? I think JDM beats him. But I'm not going to match him up with JDM. I know that you guys don't really care about that fight. One fight we can all agree on that we need in 2025, regardless of what happens with the belt, what happens with the number one contendership. Please give me this fight, bro. Shavkat Rakhmonov, JDM. Holy fuck. This is like my WrestleMania main event, bro. This is like the fight of the year for me, dude. This is like, again, this is on my Christmas list, bro. So Santa, if you're listening, bro, this is the fight I want, dude. I'll give up anything else, bro. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jack Della Maddalena. Winner of this gets another title shot. Or if JDM wants to come back against Shavkat after he loses to Bilal, whatever the go is, if Shavkat manages to beat Bilal, JDM deserves a title shot. Arguably deserved a title shot more than Shavkat did going into this fight with Bilal, but we're not going to talk about that because you're not allowed to say that because his name is Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's really cool, dude. You can't say that, dude. You can't say that he beat Wonderboy and he didn't really deserve a title shot versus JDM, who beat fucking Gilbert Burns by TKO. And they're 1-1 and somehow that gets held against him. But regardless, JDM is coming back like the fucking Giga Chad that he is. He's not even sitting on the sidelines going, bro, I deserve a title shot. I beat Gilbert Burns when he was top 5. No, he's coming back and he's probably going to fight fucking Leon Edwards and KO him. And then I think at some point in 2025, we need to see this fight of the year candidate between Shavkat Rakhmonov versus JDM. I do think Shavkat would magically turn into a wrestler and say he had an injury after this fight. I don't know why I think that would happen, but for some reason, I think in this matchup, Shavkat Rakhmonov would all of a sudden be hitting L2 and R2 and clinching up against the fence, and after the fight, he'd be claiming he had an injury the whole time. So regardless of that, I do think this would be an exciting matchup. I think JDM would take it to him. Shavkat versus JDM, please, bro. All right? Another obvious fight that we need at welterweight.
Joaquin Buckley. I mean, this guy's a great fighter. That's a real thing. I don't want to take it away from him, but I had it 1-1 with Colby going into that third. I was going to throw in the towel, but I had it 1-1.
What the fuck was Chael talking about with that Buckley fight? But regardless, we need this, bro. We need it. Everyone wants to see it. Buckley's calling for it. It makes perfect sense. Usman, Unk, It's time to get up off the fucking stool, bro. It's time to get back in there, man. You've been riding off that Hamzat fight for a long fucking time, bro. We need to see Usman come back. I want to see Usman versus Buckley. 5 rounds, because we do need to see Buckley go 5 rounds, or at least fight someone that's trying to take him 5 rounds, like he did against Colby Covington. I would love to see him against someone that actually can strike a little bit. So let's do Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman, 5-round main event in 2025. Winner of this can fight Bilal Muhammad or Shavkat Rakhmonov or JDM, whoever the champion is. I think this is a great number 1 contender type fight to make in the division that I really think will be interesting style-wise as well. I think the explosiveness of these two, Usman's a better wrestler. I would say Buckley's like a better striker, but they have similar power levels, you could say. Very, very excited by this matchup, okay, dude? These next two at welterweight, it's not necessarily what I think would be next. I could see them being next. And more than anything, I just think they're fucking badass fights, and I just want to see them really badly. First things first. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. I bet you haven't even thought about it. Dude, how fucking sick would this be? What's this guy's name? Ian Gary versus Carlos Prates. Badass fight. It doesn't have to be a fight night main event. Put this on a pay-per-view. Make this a 3-rounder. Carlos Prates' aggression and his striking versus Ian Gary's technical ability and his grappling. I think this is a good test for Carlos Prates because we haven't really seen him fight someone who's like a pure, like high-level grappler that is able to strike. It is a bit of a big jump in competition for him, but at the same time, he has power. He has great work in the clinch with his striking because of his Muay Thai background. This is a tough fight for both of these guys. I think it's winnable for Ian Gary. Like, I would lean towards Ian Gary in this fight, but it's still like a intriguing, exciting fight, and they have similar frames and builds, so you don't really get to be like, well, Ian Gary's fighting a midget, you know what I mean? It's a really sick, compelling fight. 2 exciting names in the welterweight division, especially for Ian Gary after he just fought Shavkat. Another way to earn more respect is to come back and beat Carlos Prates, because everyone's fucking loving, I was gonna abbreviate his name, everyone's loving Carlos Prates, the UFC fighter Carlos Prates. Okay, I'm not gonna abbreviate his name, dude. I'm a better man than that. But yeah, Ian Gary versus Carlos Prates, badass fight. Last one I want to see at welterweight. This is just for me. This is me personally. I think some of you guys would agree. Classic Unk matchup I'd love to see. Colby Covington versus Vicente Luque. Now, I know this is like a 2021 type matchup. Knowing the UFC, I mean, this might be the co-main event of next year's fucking MSG card, dude. You never know, bro. With the UFC's old head matchmaking, this might be the fucking main event of a pay-per-view in 2025, dude. But regardless of the jokes, Colby Covington, I'm seeing people match this guy up with Carlos Prates. First of all, what the fuck? Dude, hell no. Dude, Colby Covington will never agree to that. Why the fuck are you trying to match this guy up with Carlos Prates? I think a pretty reasonable like fight for Colby Covington if he sticks around is Vicente Luque. They're both in the same boat. Like, they're old heads that we all used to think were top contenders in like 2021, 2020. Now they've fallen off. Now they're at the bottom of the top 15. The winner of this can go up and fight like a Carlos Prates, like a Ian Gary. You know what I'm saying? The loser of this, you get Neil Magny or you're going to the GFL. You know what I'm saying, dude? But this is a decent fight. I think this makes sense. It's exciting enough in terms of their name value. I think that Colby Covington could definitely win this based on what I saw against Buckley. I could also see fucking Luque chinning him, dude. I think this is an exciting matchup. I would love to see this at welterweight. Covington versus Luque. All right, man. Moving on now to the middleweight division. Now, the middleweight division, this is, in my opinion, the most important, the most exciting, the most intriguing division in the UFC right now, based on that top 5. You got Dricus. Okay, Dricus du Plessis, mate. I didn't say he's the best fighter in the UFC. I just said he's in the best division, bro. Totally fucking different, bro. You got Sean Strickland, okay? Here's the fucking thing, dude. I'm the fucking number 1 contender, you guys. I don't care that no one wants to watch me fight Dricus, you guys. You got Robert, mate, Whittaker by fucking TKO. You got Israel Adesanya. You got everybody up there, dude. The fight that we all want to see, though, for the belt.
Brother, I don't give a fuck about this, man. You have to give me the belt, man. You have to let me fight for the belt, man. I don't give a fuck, man.
Please make this, bro. Like, come on, bro. Bro, the fact that... Here's my perfect summation of Strickland versus du Plessis 2. I was a bit harsh in my video. I made a video about UFC 312. I was a bit harsh, dude. I was a bit emotional. I said, Strickland doesn't deserve this. It should be Hamzat. You know what I'm saying? This makes no sense. I was wrong about that, okay, dude? Strickland deserves it. It makes sense. It's a big fight for casuals. What I really mean to say is, does any single human walking the earth actually, honestly, truthfully give a fuck about seeing Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis 2? Does anyone actually fucking care? No. Does Strickland deserve it on paper? Yes. Cool. Does anybody want to sit through 6 months of fucking Strickland du Plessis drama? Does anybody actually give a fuck about this fight when Khamzat Chimaev just destroyed Robert Whittaker in like 2 minutes, and Dana is saying they want to do him versus du Plessis in America? Why would anyone want to see Strickland du Plessis? Why does anyone actually fucking care? Because I don't. I could not care less about Strickland versus du Plessis. Sure, he deserves it. Whatever, do the fight. I don't care. I want to see if Khamzat Chimaev can do the exact same shit he just did to Robert Whittaker to Dricus du Plessis. And more than that, I want to see if Dricus du Plessis can plot armor his way through Chimaev. Mate, I went out there, I had a great game plan, great strategy. I went out there and I jumped a guillotine on the wrong side and I submitted. Like, is Dricus not the type of guy to jump a ghillie on the wrong side and somehow submit Chimaev? This is the fight we need at middleweight. Please make this title fight next. I beg you, bro. All right. As for the rest of the division, I was going to make Strickland versus Whittaker, but I actually don't care about seeing that either. Whittaker versus fucking Anthony Hernandez. I think this is an exciting matchup. I think Hernandez is going to beat Brendan Allen in February. I think Whittaker's going to come back in like June or July. I think this would be a sick matchup. It's like a pseudo Chimaev type of matchup. Like, if Whittaker can defend the takedowns against Fluffy, he's definitely going to be able to piece him up. He's not as aggressive as Chimaev. He's not as, like, talented as Chimaev, but he does have way better cardio. He's got pretty decent boxing. I think this is an exciting fight to add to a pay-per-view to see where Whittaker is at in his career. This is the type of fight that Whittaker wins. Like, I love Anthony Hernandez, but I'm not going to lie, this is the type of fight Whittaker would win. Like, 30-27. He'd come back and piece him up, stuff the takedowns, push the pace, maybe lose round 3, but this is the type of fight where I want to see, can Whittaker still do it? Because if he loses this, okay, he's cooked. Because 2021 Whittaker would have won this. You know what I'm saying? 2023 Whittaker would have won this. So this makes sense to me. It's a pretty decent matchup as well. I'd rather see that versus like Israel Adesanya try and defend takedowns from flop. Like, dude, I don't even want to see Israel Adesanya fight anyone that's not a striker because I just know what's going to happen to him, bro. Regardless, though, I do want to see this fight. Paulo Costa, Obama, make this fight, please. Come on, dude. Come on, Dana. This shit's easy, man. Come on, man. That's too easy. Dana, these fights should have already been made, bruh. Paulo Costa versus RoboCop. That's a badass fight. Put this in Brazil. I don't even have to explain this, man. This is a sick fight. This is the type of fight that brings Paulo Costa back. This is the type of fight where we either get Paulo Costas out of the fucking rankings or we bring back Prime Costa. He goes to war with RoboCop. These are your options. These are what we want, dude. Make Paulo Costa versus RoboCop. And the last fight I want to talk about in the middleweight division, which is like my dream fight. Like, I know I just went on this impassioned rant about Chimaev versus du Plessis. I don't care about that fight compared to this matchup, dude. And when I put this on screen, you're going to be brought to tears, okay, dude? So you might want to sit down, okay? Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh my God, it's beautiful, bro. I'm literally getting butterflies in my stomach looking at this fight, bro. This fight is fucking inspirational, bro. This is literally bringing me to tears. Dude, Brendan Allen versus Rainier Dorita. This means something to me, man. Biggest chrome versus chrome, chromosome for chromosome matchup in middleweight history. The winner of this is the man to beat Dricus du Plessis. The winner of this is the prince that was promised to beat Dricus du Plessis. I truly believe this, bro. Because Brendan Allen's probably going to lose to Anthony Hernandez. And I believe Rainier Dorita is going to smudge Kevin Holland. Please, Dana White, if you can hear me, please make this fight. We need this in the Apex as a main event. We need 5 rounds of this shit, dude. This is pure liquid gold, bro. This is pure fucking genius. 5 rounds, Brendan Allen versus Rainier Dorita in the Apex. Put a WMMA co-main event. Give me what I want, dude. Give me pure UFC. This is what UFC is all about, man. Matching these two guys, these two goofballs up. All right, Brendan versus RDR. That's my dream fight of 2025. All right, dude. Speaking of which, now the joking part is over. Alex Pereira, what the fuck is this guy doing, bro? This shouldn't be on my fucking wish list. This should be booked. This should be simple. This should be happening. The fact that Pereira just tweeted, I don't know if it's on fucking Big Ank. I don't want to hold that against my boy Big Ank. I don't want to believe my boy Big Ank is ducking Pereira, right? I would be more believing that Pereira's I'm just kidding, by the way. Stop getting mad. But dude, can we please just see this fight already? I don't even care if Ankalaev loses. I just want to see this fight because he is the only guy that can actually pose a threat to Alex Pereira right now. He's on this huge unbeaten streak of contenders ranked below him. Literally the same amount of contenders in the top 5 he is, or top 15, excuse me, that Ankalaev has wins over. Pereira has the same amount of wins in the top 15. So people that are like, oh, who's Ankalaev beaten? Look through the top 15 and look at the names that Ankalaev has beaten, and you will find the exact same amount that Alex Pereira has beaten in the top 15. It's really fucking simple. Nobody's beating Ankalaev. Nobody's beating Pereira. Make them fight each other. I want to see who the best is. Shouldn't be this big fuck around. It is for some reason. Please let us see this fight in 2025. Like I said, even if you think Pereira wins, I don't care. I just want to see the fight. I think Ankalaev's going to win, but I want to see it, bro. Let me see this shit, man. All right. Moving on in the light heavyweight division. This is like an old head matchup. I feel like we should have got this like 3 or 4 years ago, but Yuri Prohaska's kind of on one of those runs right now, dude. He's fighting Jamal Hill, which we wanted to see like 2 or 3 years ago. And I think his next matchup should be another one of those. Dude, Yuri versus Jan Blachowicz, regardless of what happens with Blachowicz versus Olberg. Make this fight, bro. This is a fun fight, man. The press conference will be lit. I'm just guy from Czech Republic, and I bring storm. Legendary Polish power. I'm bringing legendary Polish power. I'm bringing storm. You know what I mean? Like, bro, let these two just go tism for tism up there. I think the kickboxing would be very exciting in this matchup. I think these guys grappling would kind of cancel out. I think Blachowicz is a little bit more technically sound as a grappler, but Yuri Prohaska is a pretty decent wrestler himself. He's big. He's able to defend takedowns quite well. He's able to get takedowns of his own. I think this would be a mainly Muay Thai kickboxing versus street beefs karate expert matchup. Great fight to put in like Europe or something like that. Put this on one of those UK cards at the end of the year. Boom. Light heavyweight solved. Last one I really want to see at light heavyweight, and I feel like I've match made this a couple of times. I just think it makes so much sense, bro. Like when you look at the division, this just makes perfect sense on every level. Dude, Alexander Rakic versus Khalil Roundtree. Come on, bro. It's a badass fight. Both of these guys are like number 6 and number 7 in the division. They both are like the highlight reel. They beat people like they owe him money type guys that we all want to see go on a title run, but they just keep falling short of it. And I think this is the type of matchup that Rakic could genuinely win. I know that people fucking love Roundtree. I love Roundtree as well. But this is a winnable matchup for Rakic. And if he beats Khalil Roundtree, like clearly with his wrestling and his striking, which I think he could, you're looking at one fight away from a title shot. Like, you're telling me Rakic couldn't beat Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill? I could definitely see that happening. So, Rakic versus Roundtree, good fight for both of these guys. Exciting premise as well. You got 2 really good kickboxers, 2 exciting guys in the light heavyweight division. The winner of this gets a number 1 contendership fight. Boom. Problem solved. Division solved. Last thing to talk about is the heavyweight division. I don't even want to joke around. Like, bro, I know I'm like a funny guy. I'm like a comedian, you know what I'm saying? Like, funny guy. You good jokes. I'm not even going to get on here and be like, oh, I want to see John Jones versus Shamil Gaziev. I want to see, Shamil Gaziev versus Mick Porkin. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to get on here with that bullshit, bro. UFC, man. We need Tom Aspinall, John Jones. I'm hearing from Dana White that it's 100% going to happen, which means we're getting Aspinall versus Almeida for the interim belt in July. But all jokes aside, we need this fight, bro. There is so little opportunities in being a UFC fan where you get a fight that is like, this guy is the other guy's kryptonite. I think genuinely the only person walking the earth that could beat John Jones right now is Tom Aspinall. I think the only person walking the earth that can beat Tom Aspinall right now is John Jones. That is genuinely what I think. I think both of these guys are the hardest matchup for each other. I could see them both beating each other. Like, genuinely, it's a coin flip to me. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I do believe that John Jones's plot armor, his experience, his skills, he is the only guy I could ever see beating Tom Aspinall. If John Jones leaves this fucking division and he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, We will never actually know because it's going to be just Tom Aspinall. Mick Parkin, I've trained with the guy. He's a great fighter. I don't want to fight him for the belt, but, I've defended the belt 12 times against Shamil Gaziev and Curtis Blades. So, I'm going to have to fight him. I don't want that. I don't want that future, bro. I want to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. That's what I want. That's what you want. That's what we all want. That's what Dana White wants. We need these fights in 2025. Let me know down below, what fights have I missed? What fights do you feel like we absolutely need to see in 2025? What's on your wish list for the year? It can be a big fight. It can be like two prelim guys that you really want to see fight each other. Let me know in the comments down below, man. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I will see you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.